Hello, this is I Do Damage, and welcome back to the channel. In this Code Vein video, we're going to talk about my first impressions of the game. The first thing I really want to talk about that is probably the most important piece of this game is the combat and the gameplay and the overall feel. Just the moment-to-moment gameplay it can be intense at times. What kind of breaks up the gameplay for me is the story, but we'll get to that next. But as far as just fighting monsters, the monsters are pretty creative. So far, after I think I have maybe about 8 hours played, there's not a ton of monster diversity. I did get to a new area, no spoilers, but I did get to a new area and I saw some new monsters that had some crazy new moves that kind of just really caught me off guard. So that's really awesome. That makes me more excited to keep playing and see more monsters and all of that. And you have different classes, right? That's the big draw. They're called blood codes in Code Vein, and I think that's the biggest part of the gameplay and kind of what brings the abilities to the table, I guess. There's so many different abilities and just things and builds and weapons and just there's a lot of different options you can do. There are some times in combat where the camera gets a little wonky or maybe it gets like stuck on a wall or is a little unresponsive, which can be pretty annoying, but so far it hasn't ruined the game for me and I'm still enjoying the combat and pretty much the overall gameplay. But as I said, the one thing that really kind of almost hinders the gameplay for me is the story. And I know, let me explain myself. What I mean by that is I'll see what looks like a boss arena or some, like there'll be a resting point or something where in my mind I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go rest. Or for instance, I see a huge arena, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to run in. This boss is going to come out, I'm going to fight it. But what ends up happening is sometimes you'll approach that missile and it'll spark like a 10-minute cutscene or just like what feels like the longest dialogue ever. And I'm not saying the dialogue and the story is bad by any means. The story is actually, for me personally, I'm not really much of a story guy, but I'm giving it a chance on this game, and there's some emotional parts. I got a little emotional at one point. There's some pretty sappy stuff in there, and I don't know, for a story to make me feel that way, it makes me believe the story is somewhat good. I'm not going to say it's going to win any awards or anything like that, but it's probably, I don't know, I'd give it maybe a 6 out of 10 when it comes to story so far. I mean, I've just seen the beginning, obviously, so. And the other thing I was talking about was the bosses, the boss arena that I kind of referenced, and I really want to talk about the bosses. They're a little easy on this game. There's some that they're pretty insanely hard, but I don't know. Once you've seen it once, you should know all the mechanics and be able to take it down the next try. And if you can't, you can just summon into your game to help you and just carry you through the boss fight. But the overall, we'll get into the multiplayer next, but before that, I really do want to talk a little bit more about the bosses and just the design overall. I'm pretty impressed with the boss designs. The first one you encounter is a little basic, and as you go on, obviously they get more and more complex. And the most recent one I fought was, I'm not going to do any spoilers again, but it was kind of hard. It was just like you had to really react fast. I mean, you had to be on your toes the whole time and be ready to dodge, which I like. I like that fast-paced type of style of combat, but we'll see. In my mind, I'm envisioning some just massive, insanely crazy bosses to come. I don't know. I've seen a few that I'm pretty big fans of. Maybe we'll make some boss kill videos if I think that is a thing, but so far, the bosses overall seem pretty straightforward, to me at least. And last but not least, I want to talk about the multiplayer, because that's a pretty big aspect of this game for me personally, and I love it. I love it. It does what it's supposed to do. If I need to go back and farm maybe some more souls, or haze is what they call it in Code Vein, I can do that. I can just find a random game to join, and it's really seamless, and I jump in and we go kill stuff, and I can do that. I can grind levels if I want. I can ask someone to come help me. Be warned though, once you've killed the boss in an area, you cannot ask anyone to come join your game, which makes sense, since when you join someone's game, the only reward you really get, other than the souls and haze or whatever, is once you do kill the boss in their game, you get a reward medal, which unlocks cosmetics. I think there's emotes, like a portrait icon type thing. But anyway, that's pretty much the multiplayer, and I don't know, these are pretty much my first impressions of the game. If I get really into this game, I'm more than likely going to end up doing a full review, probably some build videos, maybe boss guide videos. I don't know, we'll do something. I'm enjoying the game so far. So with all this in mind, I really hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. It means a lot to me. Also, check the links down below for my Twitch and all my social medias, my Discord, all that fun stuff. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Do you think it's meant to be? 'Cause I feel like letting go.